Kanji's world. Introduction, Japanese philosophy. The trend of language. Transition from ideograms to phonograms is a global trend. One by one, many countries have switched from ideograms to phonograms. Why does kanji still exist in Japan? Because of creation through abstraction, I mean because of accumulation of efforts of creation through abstraction. History of kanji. Basics. To start with, what is kanji? Kanji are ideograms, which were originally derived from pictograms. For example, the kanji meaning river consists of 3 vertical lines which look like streams of water. In Japan and China, the written language is an ideogram. The Japanese did not have a written form of their language until they encountered Chinese in ancient times. In order to learn from China, a culturally advanced nation, ancient Japanese adopted Chinese characters. How many kanji do they have? There are said to be more than 50,000 Chinese characters, 3,000 of which are commonly used, 1,945 of which are taught during the period of compulsory education in Japan. However, this is only the number of characters. The number of words that can be formed by combining characters is many times this. Still, one must know considerably more characters than this in order to read even the newspapers and ordinary books, since the characters for many personal and place names are not included in this limited number. When was kanji invented? 3,300 years ago, Chinese character which Japanese calls as kanji has formed as character. This is pretty long time ago, isn't it? Then how come have the character survived? Because there is a principle to create a character. 1. Abstract concept can be expressed by only sounds. 2. Cultural activities by a voluntary effort is necessary to create a character. 3. Spoken language itself chose their letters. Pictograms include sounds, meaning, and shape. They can show things, actions, relations, and certain conditions. What is they cannot show? It's a conceptual and notional category. Pictograms can't show form words and abstract words, for example. By contrast, phonograms, which contain the pronunciation and letters coincide with each other, like alphabet, can show abstract words without any issues. That's why linguists believe that phonograms are superior characters than pictograms. Of all the phonograms of the world, only those of Greece, Russia, India, Thailand, Arabian countries and a few other countries don't use the Roman alphabet. In fact, kanji is the only existent character created from pictogram. How to create letters. Letters is not only series of sounds or series of notes. Letters provide a figure into a sound and stable a meaning and abstract it at the same time. Letter is the place to perform mental operations and cultural activities, which need cultural activities of abstraction by a voluntary effort. That associated with stratification and double articulation from the text of Geology of Morals. All of ancient characters are pictograms. They are like primitive pictures. To become letters, undoubtedly there is an obvious generalization. It is not enough to become letters if it is just tracing. They need mapping to become more than symbol. Adding the concept of abstraction which spoken language already contained is crucial process to invent written language. Without this process, the symbol can't be letters. Shape and form. Creation through abstraction. Now, let's see how to generalize in kanji. In kanji, we can see the transition from shape into form. Alphabet is purely form, but kanji is from shape. There is mainly 6 ways of abstraction to adopt into a language, which is called as rokusho in Japanese. These are sign, addition, composition, note, system, and algebra. 1. Sign. It is a way mapping figures of things, which is not simply trace the figure but create symbol with lines. For example, the character meaning the sun was drawn in the form of the sun and the meaning a tree was made to resemble the shape of a tree. 2. Addition. It is a way using kanji made from sign as a base of shape and adding lines which shows the relation with original sign. For example, the kanji shows book is made from kanji of tree by adding one more line in the kanji of tree. 3. Composition. It is a way basically using kanji made from sign as a part and composing with them, but also sometimes adding new composition of lines which presents some meaning. For example, 2 trees were combined in a single character to indicate a wood and 3 trees were combined to represent a forest. In these 3 ways, basic kanji is created. The number of these kanji has not changed from the beginning of the history of kanji. After finishing creation of basic kanji, they started to be used as just sounds. 4. Note. It is a way using sound of kanji made from sign, as if note of music to apply the spoken Japanese. Composing from kanji made from sign is a part and new lines, but in the way of note, the contained meaning of the original kanji itself is not considered, it is used as more like simply sound to show the abstract words. For example, kanji meaning of I, and not is in this group. 5. System. It is a way using shape of kanji made from sign as a part and make relatives of words. Original kanji's meaning doesn't relate to the meaning of these kanji but create a series of words using same parts of kanji. It can show the species differentiation in kanji. For instance, the name of birds composed with same part of kanji. 6. Algebra. It is a way using exist kanji and use only sounds and express the abstract meaning, which is phonogrammic usage. They're used for the adverbs, the auxiliary verbs and pronouns, which are used more like as particle sounds and adopting new words and new concept when refaced. Why kanji is so successful of adaptation comparing to other pictograms? Because kanji is based on composition of lines but not shapes. Shape is like picture associated with planes. However, line is more like drawing with motion and solid. That makes kanji a vivid expression. Comparison, West and East. In terms of alphabet is forms of connections and successions. It is more like one-directional process of abstraction. By contrast, kanji derived from a holistic approach which is multi-layered process of abstraction. Conclusion, generalization. Why could Japanese keep kanji? The hints of the question might be in the notion of generalization. In generalization, there are massive efforts of creation through abstraction. Japanese invented their own way to generalize the letter to adopt into spoken language. For instance, most of the kanji introduced from China can be read in two ways. In the on, or Chinese reading, and in the kan, or Japanese reading. In addition, the Japanese have also invented a fair number of kanji characters called Japanese characters J for their own use. If I see kanji, I cannot stop thinking about generalization and abstraction, which helps understanding and memorizing and communicating, generation after generation. I reckon that there are more than double articulation in kanji. It might be triple articulation to stabilize and unstabilize the substances, contents and structures.